Google God, please stop updating things every month. I wore my links around my neck. I have my AI clothes on.
Never, my child. We're going to be updating the algorithm every 2.3 seconds. You'll never know what content to write.
I've been feeding you $10,000 a day right into your mouth hole. I've sacrificed my firstborn child for you. I told you I would give you this. Just stop with the updates.
But don't you like all of the Forbes results and Quora and Reddit threads and all that cool stuff? That's the real content, my child. Goodbye, I'll see you with the update in a few seconds. Ta-ta. If the Google gods have declined your traffic at any point in the last year, it's probably because there's been 10 major updates. Multiple product review updates, helpful content updates, hidden gems, whatever that means, spam updates, and it has a lot of people in the SEO world freaking out a little bit. Because think about it, we're in this new world of AI where anyone can publish content a lot faster, so they keep raising the bar a little bit. I mean, really all I'm seeing is a bunch of giant media sites like Forbes ranking for stuff and more Reddit and Quora threads, but that's beside the point. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the main mistakes that bloggers have made, myself included, in Google's eyes, like what really is considered low quality content. How do you improve the quality of your content? And we'll give you a full checklist so you can fix some mistakes and rank your blog in the years to come. Now, before we get started, make sure to click the link in the description and top comment below. Free 80-minute training, how to start an online business, all the steps. Make sure to click it, put your email in, and let's get into the topic for today. So taking a look at the news here, we have the November 23 update, October, a couple of those, a spam update, helpful content in September, August had a core update, reviews update in April, another core update, product reviews in February, link spam in December of 22, helpful content, spam, helpful content, product review, hidden gems, finding Reddit, Quora, whatever it is, right? There's been a lot more Google algorithm changes, big major core changes than there have been in the previous 5 years. And a lot of things that they're saying are kind of confusing, right? So it's like write for humans first now and SEO second, right? Or don't only focus on SEO. Don't search engine optimize your content, even though we're a search engine. Focus on building for your audience, and then we'll rank you somehow automatically, right? So it's a little bit confusing. So first we have to cover what actually is helpful content. Well, it has to be useful, trustworthy, and an enjoyable experience for the person reading it. Now, to Google, that's always kind of been focused on your EEAT, your expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. There's also a lot of speculation on what it targets. So we're saying AI content, probably not a good thing, right? That's not optimized for an audience, for a human reader. Content that's written for SEO first. So if your entire site is only SEO first, every single article is SEO first, there's no other articles for an audience, that can be a problem. Or you publish high volumes of content across too broad of a niche. So that's a mistake I made a few years ago. I was writing about credit cards, NFTs, crypto stuff, and blogging and affiliate marketing. I went a little bit too broad. So if you go too broad, Google doesn't understand you, you're not niche enough, that can be a problem. So this has created a lot of discussion in the SEO community. Sites have seen their traffic go down 30 to 50%. Some sites have seen it go up. It just really depends on how future-proof the content was, how good it was, and if they're future-proofing the site with is the content actually helpful? Whether all of these helpful content updates are good or bad, the important thing is they're probably here to stay, so we need to actually change what we're doing in order to cope with it. So first, let's cover some of the main mistakes you might have made. So think about if you've done any of these as we define what low quality content is. So automatically generated AI content that focuses only on keywords to rank well. So you're stuffing a bunch of keywords in there, but the article is not really readable or enjoyable. Low readability. Same kind of concept. It's just hard to read. Typos, misspellings, punctuation errors, things that can be fixed with Grammarly, right? Adding content just to have more pages targeting keywords. So just the only point of this content is to prop up an article. Not really written for, human beings. Shallow content with generic writers, thin content, old content, no third-party sources. So maybe you never linked to a third-party statistic or something actually helpful. And excessive length can also be an issue where the articles are just too long. You're not getting to the point. People's attention spans are lower. Time to action is important, right? So maybe you're just fluffing it up with 1,000 extra words that don't even have to be in there. So those are all low-quality content mistakes. There's also topical authority mistakes. So that's mainly writing too broadly around tons of different topics, not going deep enough on any one. Also, that could be covering niches that you don't know that well. So, as we think about it, the question is always, do I need to buy the product in order to review it on a blog? In the past, I said not necessarily, right? It's always good to have niche expertise of some kind when you're choosing the niche that you're going to write about. But now it's you probably should have pictures of yourself using the product, even if you don't buy it. go to the store, hold it, take pictures. There's creative ways to do it. If it's software, do a free trial, right? It's all about the human experience of the products, especially in the product review update. Another topical authority mistake is no backlinks. So that's one of the biggest ones I see from new bloggers. It's just like there's no links to the site yet. It's hard to rank with the DR domain rating of 0, right? You got to kind of get in the ballpark in your niche. Less competitive niches like outdoor goods, you don't need as high of a DR compared to like software marketing blogs, but you have no backlinks or just different content quality. So you might have, let's say there's 10 articles on your blog, just for an example. 5 of them are high quality, 5 of them are low quality. Well, those high quality articles might actually be affected now by the low quality ones because Google is somehow expecting every single article to be high quality. Could be poor use of internal links, right? The structure is not right. You don't have enough supporting content. No silo structure for each topic, or you could just be trying to rank for too many keywords at once. Keyword cannibalization, too many articles on similar things, right? So if I had like the best podcast software and then I had the best podcast software for beginners as a separate article, well, maybe that's the same thing, right? And then we have to talk about page experience. So it's not just about what's on the page and your authority around the topics, but also like the page and the experience, the user experience, right? So it could be difficult to access content. Could be no easy way to navigate your website and get to other content. Could be slow site speed. Content's not optimized, too many ads. There might be like banner ads everywhere and video ads, and it's just too distracting. No color scheme, no logo, no branding, no tone. Doesn't seem like a real blog, like a brand. It just seems kind of like a random affiliate site that doesn't have much value. So ultimately, when we think about it, AI has changed the game for blogging, right? People can be creating content faster with the use of AI tools. And it's never been easier to start a website with SEO tools, but it's also created a problem for Google. So lots of websites are using these tools. It's AI generated content, right? You put in some prompts, it gets smarter, and then it spits this stuff out. So I think what Google is doing is they're like going back to rewarding super high authority sites because they don't know what's they're not great at doing this. So that's why I'm seeing a lot of like Forbes and Entrepreneur and these like big media sites still ranking for stuff. Google says, don't do SEO first, do it for the audience first. Then why is Forbes and Rolling Stone writing about like the best blenders, right? 7 best blenders. You're telling me that's not SEO optimized, but it's still ranking. So I think they're reverting back to like showing media sites, showing really helpful blogs, and then they kind of mix it up with this hidden gems update with like a few Reddit results or like one Reddit result, a Quora, some videos. So again, Google's whole goal is to provide organize the world's information. They've done a decent job at it. No one's done it better than them yet necessarily, right? They have all the market share for the most part. As we think about it, like if we're going to stand out as individual bloggers, well, we're not going to get more links than Forbes, right? We're not going to create a forum on our site to find a hidden gem for everyone to talk about, right? What we can do is really improve our human content, our human experience. That's what people like to read and engage with and interact with. And that can be things like video content in the blog posts, right? I'm going to be, teaching YouTube now and doing video content with the blog, or it could be just really helpful content. So things that you do if you're doing a product review, take a picture with the product, show it, make unique images of it that don't exist anywhere else online. If it's software, take screenshots inside the trial and use a tool to add like graphics to it, your own, so it looks a little bit more unique to you and it exists nowhere else. So helpful content, the whole point is to improve the quality of the entire top 10 results, right? If everyone improves, the results are going to improve and the end user improves. Think about SEO like YouTube, right? YouTube is all about thumbnails and retention. So it's getting people to click the thumbnail to watch the thing and then watch the whole video to retain them to stay on YouTube as long as possible. Blogging is a little bit different, but it could be like click-through rate on the actual, article and then engaging. It's all going to come down to engagement and user experience and things that you can't fake, right? Things that you can't hack your way to the top with. It really comes down to, well, what is the best article? It's one that ends the search journey. It's one that actually like gets people to search for something, find it, and then not go back and click another article. It's the one that actually ends the search journey. There's no really way to fake that other than human experience creating great content. So you can tell if your site's been tagged unhelpful by doing a quick audit of your site, right? Looking at Ahrefs, looking at Google Analytics, looking at your site over the last 18 to 24 months and the last couple months. And then you're going to see if your traffic's gone up or down in the weeks following these major updates. So a major update rolls out. It takes usually a couple weeks to fully roll out. And then you can start really gauging what happened like a month later. So you can look at all the different ones listed from say November 2021, had a spam update all the way to today. Especially if you've been tagged unhelpful, your trend of traffic's going down, you need to improve the quality of the content on your site. That's what I'm updating every single article. It's going to take a while. It should be done sometime in Q1 of 2024. And then we're going to be having an entirely new content strategy based on some of these updates, from going broad to going narrow. It's kind of an exciting time actually as we build other revenue streams and really focus on improving the quality of the site. But areas to focus on for creating a high quality site, it's really thinking about human quality, not going SEO first. So yes, we should use something like Surfer SEO to generally create some SEO optimized articles and get it to like a 60 or 70 Surfer score, get it good, get it optimized to a decent extent, but we don't want to over optimize. We definitely don't want to over SEO optimize things. Also, Google actually uses 16,000 quality raters, and they can assess a site, and they can assess it based on, are there actually authors? Is it from a human experience, right? These things that maybe just an AI tool can't do. So the first thing to focus on is page experience. So this is like site speed and navigation mainly. Is it easy to access information? So how easy is it to move from one page to another? Does everything point to transactional content? Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe sending people to informational content would make more sense. Here's a couple examples that I like of just good layouts. So this is like WeFlow. They have a normal blog article here. I like the how it's aligned in the middle here. There's the table of contents, making all the content easy to navigate. There's internal links throughout it. And then you get to the related articles, and it's a nice layout, right? It's super easy to navigate. There's platform pricing, resources, and all of that. Money Saving Experts, another one. It looks interesting. It's a different layout, but you have all of these different, look at the menus here. You have travel, insurance, you can click travel credit cards. You can get to that, but you can get anywhere from the site. That's the key. Like you can just get anywhere by hovering your mouse, right, over things. This is another interesting layout, animals.co. They have a blog, podcast, other announcements, but this one's interesting, right? Like this is a completely different type of layout. Their most read articles, the podcast, latest posts. It's more of like a news type layout. So ultimately though, like a simple way to do this is just to think about, what is your menu navigation like? Can you add more things to it? Can you add actually pages to the navigation? For example, I have a page just /blogging. It's actually just a page, and it houses all the blogging articles with this link to it right here. And it's got, some recommended tools. It's got some affiliate links, it's got an essential guide, and it's got some of the best articles. Now this is actually one of my higher converting pages as far as like dwell time, low bounce rate, all of that. So I'm going to be redesigning the site completely pretty soon, having a lot more pages, content, things that you can click on. But just think about what type of navigation you actually have on your site. Can people access content simply? Like if you're writing things in a given niche, what other pieces of information would they want? What topical authority mapping do you need, and how do you get people to other content? It's usually with related articles, internal links, easy table of contents to navigate, and then a good top navigation to get to all areas of the site. Another big area to focus on is the content ratio. So how much informational content do you have versus transactional, right? This has changed a lot over the years, where 4 years ago, you could get away with like mostly transactional affiliate articles with a few informational articles. Now you need much more informational content, at least an 80-20 split between informational, helpful content and transactional affiliate content. Now for transactional content, make sure you're actually adding value to the conversation. If you're just scanning features, right? If you're talking about like the best webinar software, and you just go to each tool, you scan the features, you write a couple bullet points, you look at a couple blog posts, you write things based on their review. You're not adding anything to the conversation, right? Are you showcasing the pros and cons? Are you showcasing your own unique take? Are you talking about the things that you don't like about the product? Because I see a lot of articles just saying this one's great and number 2 is great, and you really have to differentiate if you want to be successful. It's like this one's best for this audience, but it's not for these people. This one's good here, but it's not good with this specific feature, right? So clear differentiation is good. And do you have to have the product? It definitely helps. If you're an individual blogger trying to compete with media sites, Reddit, Quora, videos, YouTube videos, right? You probably should have as much human experience content in there as possible. Now, if you don't own the product, but you've used it, or even if you don't own the product, you need at least a pros and cons list, a semi-unique take, unique images that you create somehow, and you have to have the right informational to transactional ratio. Next thing to focus on, how much experience and expertise does the content actually show that it has? If you have 10 years of experience in using binoculars, right? Say that in the content. Say, I've tried and tested for the last 10 years, right? I've seen a lot of EEAT and expertise shown in a number of different ways, right? Health sites say these 2 doctors peer reviewed this, or even like tactical gear, outdoor products. You might have like US Army person, 20 years of experience did this. and this person too. So having some experience. If you have no experience, that's fine too, but just think about how you can position yourself as an expert. If a human were to scan this article, what would make them trust you, right? So like for online course platforms, I ranked for that thing before I ever used one. I ranked number one and I made over $20,000 a month, up to a little higher than that, before I ever actually used an online course platform because I was good at SEO. I ranked for the term. Now I've actually used all of them. I have an online course that's made millions of dollars. I know which ones are good. I know what features we need. I've added the little bit of context, just a little bit here and there. Like I've made this much with online courses. I've done it for years. This is my opinion on it. So, WebMD does this. NerdWallet does it with finance. Here's a certified public accountant that peer reviewed this article. You can do it simply by just adding simple statements in there, having author pages on your blog, adding as much expertise as you can into the content. Next thing to focus on, remove low quality content from your site. This one's important. I did this. I removed a couple hundred articles from the site that just didn't make sense anymore. I shouldn't have been ranking anyways for best debit cards to build credit or best NFT wallets that we ranked for a while, right? We're ranking for all kinds of stuff. I'm like, really? Does it make sense that my blog about blogging affiliate marketing is ranking for credit cards and Ethereum wallets we got thousands and thousands of visits to? It's like, what's the point of that? So Google actively promotes the removal of low quality content from your site. It's in their guidelines itself. So the bad thing here is even a small dose of bad content on your site can affect the whole site, which is new, right? That's a new thing. So if you have a post that is low quality, be really honest about it. Does it make sense to keep it? If it's getting a lot of traffic, if it's in your niche and it makes sense and it's helpful, you keep the article. Even if it's getting a little bit of traffic, but it's like not in your niche and it's just broadening your content, it's not helpful and it's going to take a lot of time to delete, then you delete it. So you have to think about the workload. Is it going to take you 1 hour to update it and it's helpful and you need it and it's in your niche? Or is it going to take you 8 hours to do an actual really good update on this thing to where it needs to be based on the competition? And even if I do that, it might just confuse Google because it's not in my niche anyways. So really what you do is look at your Google Analytics, sort every page by traffic, and just see, like, there could be a lot of articles on your site that aren't getting any traffic, right? And if they're not, and they're not helpful, and they're not in the niche, then you should delete them. What you can do is you can 410 delete them, just save them as a draft in WordPress. So if you ever want to republish them, you can, but just delete. Don't be scared of deleting things because actually you can get more traffic with less articles if you really focus on your sub niche. We saw that. So ultimately in review, Google algorithm madness 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. It's going to keep happening. You have to just be prepared for it and future-proof your strategies with the most helpful content possible. So every article should be helpful. It should be written for humans first, SEO second. You also want to have like signals from other websites. So like get an email list and send blog traffic from an email list, from social media, from other avenues outside of just organic SEO. Building a true brand is what it requires in some instances. So this is what we teach in Blog Growth Engine. We actually have updated Blog Growth Engine to version 4.5 after these updates last week with a ton hours of new content around creating the content, showing your expertise and authority. So ultimately, blogging is nowhere near dead, right? But you have to be okay with some volatility. You have to be okay with building other revenue streams and diversifying, maybe building some revenue streams too outside of blogging. That's what I did with YouTube, right? I was a little nervous because I was only, focused 100% on one website with affiliate revenue. That was the main driver. I was like, well, what happens if the site tanks at a certain point or an algorithm update hits and one did, like my site went down a lot and now we're rebuilding it and it's still going to make $1 million in 2023, with very little work on my part because of passive recurring affiliate commissions for software programs. So that's great, right? But what if you're in a physical product niche and you lost 50% of your traffic? Well, I wouldn't want to just keep relying all my eggs on the Google affiliate basket per se. I'd look at other avenues. And we have tons of other content on what those avenues are. Is it a newsletter with Twitter and LinkedIn? Is it a YouTube channel selling courses? Is it, YouTube embedding that content into your blog post to make it more helpful? There's lots of different options for you to diversify revenue streams, diversify the platforms that you're actually on, and continue to find success all throughout the rest of the decade. So if that's interesting to you, if you want to learn more how to start an online business in the 2020s, make sure to click the link in the description below. Sign up for the free masterclass, 80 minutes of free training, exactly how to start an online business. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found the intro a little bit funny and interesting. And I want to leave you with this. Let's add a couple bloopers, Luca, my video editor, from our last Blog Growth Engine update that we did, some of the funny stuff that you might not see elsewhere. So I hope you enjoy it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
So,
The teleprompter won't move, Luca. I'm gonna fucking go insane.
Oh, I think I might have done something wrong there.
I'm sorry, I have to kind of go slide by slide because this thing is fucking up.
Excellent.
all right, sorry about that. I had to sneeze.
Fucking crisp stuck in my mouth.
You should have used the
Don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to stop talking. Just need to scratch my nose. Sorry, that's really annoying.
This thing is too long. I'm never doing this again.